2 weeks ago, Lafty, our high school youth group, hosted a regional conclave. Their topic theme was survivor, emphasizing that our Jewish people has time and again thrived in the wake of catastrophes. That weekend, the Torah portion, Vayera, included the binding of Isaac. On Shabbat morning, the teens put Abraham on trial for the crime of risking the future of the Jewish people aborting by nearly killing his only son at God's command. Single-minded concern with maintaining this people grows after that perilous moment. Abraham quickly seeks a wife for Isaac, making a next generation possible. The search for Isaac's bride, ending in a successful match with Rebekah, is central to the next week's portion. This week, our portion begins, Ele Tol'dot Yitzchak. This is the line of Isaac, a common formula in the Torah, usually followed by a list of children and often subsequent generations too. This time, though, we read, Isaac pleaded with Adonai on behalf of his wife, for she was childless. The prayer succeeds, and God acceded to his entreaty, so his wife Rebekah became pregnant. Ever since, Judaism has been fixated on fertility, specifically with childbearing by women. If a woman has not borne a child in the first 10 years of marriage, the Talmud requires her husband to divorce her or take a second wife, since he must fulfill his obligation to procreate. An important Talmudic rabbi, Rava, taught that when we come before God in divine judgment after death, we will be asked, did you procreate? More recently, the continuity industry arose, obsessed with maintaining the size of the American Jewish community. Focusing on the fertility question, Ben Wattenberg and Jeremy Cadden wrote in 2005, in order for a population to remain constant over the course of generations, women must bear, on average, 2.1 children. Estimates of American Jewish fertility vary from 1.4 to 1.9 children. In fact, signs of depopulation are already beginning to show, with the American Jewish community sliding from 5.5 million in 1990 to 5.2 million in 2000, a time when the total U.S. population grew by more than 30 million people. The authors knew where to place the blame. Many demographers, they wrote, have stressed the changed role of women as a general demographic correlative of plunging global fertility. In other words, opportunities for women outside the home have decreased childbearing. The authors put the word liberation in quotes when they write, other general liberation factors have played a role. High levels of both divorce and cohabitation, for instance, are both correlated with low fertility rates. Wattenberg and Cadden were wrong. The 2020 Pew study of the American Jewish community documented a population of some 7.5 million. Worse, demographers' conclusions were predicated on patriarchal notions about how people born into women's bodies should live their lives. In 2017, Stephen Cohen and Sylvia Barak-Fishman insisted Jews will need to start marrying, marry younger, marry Jewish spouses, and raise Jewish children, creating more Jewish marriages and filling more Jewish baby carriages inevitably leads to seeing more Jews in the pews, as well as other places where Jewish engagement gets acted out. In the wake of 2018 sexual harassment claims, which he confessed were true, Cohen lost his job as a professor at Hebrew Union College, where I was ordained. Rochi Kafrison has long criticized Cohen and others like him, making marriage and fertility a subject of general communal interest and giving it the quasi-scientific cover of academic inquiry legitimizes the erosion of Jewish women's control over their own fertility and thus independence in the service of the greater cause of continuity. Indeed, Cohen's continuity looked a lot like old-fashioned anti-feminist backlash. In the wake of Cohen's being unmasked as a sexual harasser, she asked, "How surprised can we be that a man whose entire worldview hinged on women having more babies turned out to have no respect for women when it came to personal sexual boundaries?" In the real lives of peoples of all genders, single or partnered in whatever way, childbearing and questions of fertility are deeply personal. Infertility may be especially painful, and not because of concerns for the Jewish future. As Genesis continues to unfold, we will see infertility again, this time not as a threat to our people's existence, but as personal sadness. Jacob, a son of Isaac and Rebekah, has two wives, Leah and Rachel, who are sisters. Mindful that Jacob loves Rachel, but seeing that Leah was disfavored, Adonai opened her womb while Rachel was childless. Leah bears 5 sons and a daughter, and 2 concubines bear another 5. 11 children of Israel who will ensure that the covenant's continuity will be. Still, Torah reveals Rachel's pain. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing children to Jacob, Rachel came to envy her sister. She said to Jacob, "Let me have children, otherwise I'm a dead woman." Eventually, God opens her womb too. I have known pain like Rachel's. Robert and Daniel are the blessings of my life, godsends who came after an extended period of infertility and years of costly, time and anxiety producing fertility treatments, much more painful for their mother than for me. When we were uncertain that we would have children of our own, my concern was not for the future of the Jewish people, but rather about what Tony and I wanted for our lives. I knew that Judaism permits fertility treatments, but I confess that I would have willingly participated in that process, even if Jewish law prohibited it. Today, my primary concern about fertility treatment is access. As we recently saw in Alabama, some people who view the status of any fertilized egg as a person with rights like yours or mine would shut down standard fertility treatment. Moreover, even in places where the right to reproductive health care is protected by law, fertility treatment is unavailable to most people simply because it is so expensive and not often covered by insurance or Medicaid. Believe it or not, Arkansas has a good fertility treatment coverage law. The decision to become a parent, whether, when, and how, is best left to the individuals, and if they wish, their partners, healthcare providers, clergy, and other advisors. No individual or couple or group of people, such as Jews with uteruses, should be pressured to become parents or not to do so on the basis of an agenda, no matter how laudable. This week's Torah portion is not the only one that features the word Tol'dot in its opening phrase. That's also true of Parshat Noach, about Noah and the flood. There, too, the word Tol'dot is not immediately followed by a list of progeny, but instead the sentence, "Noah was a righteous man." Our sages explain that Noah's righteousness is his legacy, as is the case for all virtuous individuals, whether or not they have biological children. Moreover, Rabbi Samuel teaches in the Talmud that anyone who teaches Torah to a child earns merit equivalent to being that child's parent. Each of us can do our part for the future of the Jewish people. Some of us by having children of our own, others by supporting others who bring children into the world, and still others by teaching the next generation. We all have roles to play to ensure that Judaism survives and thrives, L'dor Vador, from generation to generation. Amen.